Well, hello, everybody. Good evening. It is 3:37 p.m. Pacific time. And of course, I want to stop by here and to discuss some tea. Please. And I tell you, I don't really get into like celebrity gossip and stuff. I really only like to talk about things that I think will help empower and elevate the people. And of course, hence why I come on here and I'm always offering classes and casework and where I was keeping it on certain topics, publicly, and then privately we also have certain topics. So of course, like I said, going into, services and stuff, you guys, I'm not just one of these spiritualists out here who, like I said, saw this as a way of making money. For those who know me, I know we get new people every day. People I've never seen, never heard of reach out to me. And so they don't really understand the background, that's how it is. So, if you don't know, I will, lightly, politely, and very whitely go over some tea. So not only am I an ordained minister in the state of California and as well as the state of Nevada, okay? I'm also well trained and equipped with the knowledge of knowing about energy. I've taken classes, I've got certifications on energy work classes, going into, knowledge of herbs and crystals, as well as even going into, over the past 2 years, hypnotherapy, getting into helping people with grievance. Like I said, that's one of the things that helped me. I wanted to learn the psychology behind going through a loss and healing from that loss. And so, like I said, I'm not just somebody who sits here and, hope and pray and wish, while my life is fucked up, because it's not. I want to put that out there, because people can take bits and pieces and make things their own. So, my life is not fucked up. Like that, I actually put in the work, okay, to be where I'm at now, mentally, physically, spiritually, and definitely emotionally. And of course, I've repeated one of them twice, but who gives a fuck, girl? Because I want to talk about a lot without taking up too much of your time. And so, like I said, we're equipped. We're equipped with the knowledge. We're equipped with the skills. We are equipped with the stamina, the spiritual background, the physical background to help people elevate. And so, like I said, when I speak about things, it's really about me helping you, one way or another to find out who you really are. Y'all, this life is very, very short. And to think that we're here for these amount of years just to be here and to be, purposeless, not really fulfill something, it's crazy, right? You're limited in your time, although your energy is unlimited, although your existence, your energy behind what you are physically, what you chose to manifest now to become for your souls, evolving, and even those around you. Like I said, your energy beyond that, it's forever, it's eternally. But you have to understand at this moment right now, this current storyline, this thing that you have, is for a purpose. And of course, it's to elevate. You came into this life and you didn't know much about anything. And so you reacted and you done things based off of your soul's agenda, regardless of how you were raised, because a lot of people blame that on that and say, I grew up in a household that my mama was a crackhead, my dad was an alcoholic, and so that caused me to become an alcoholic, et cetera, et cetera. But then you have stories of people who grew up in that type of household and their story was different. Their agenda became different. And of course, they were the chosen one to help enlighten their family and or to break the generational curses. And I believe that many of you, that was your purpose. Of course, you were programmed by society and or your family to think that you were just like them. And so you did things just like them, but you are here right now on YouTube and all these other platforms and spaces to be aware of energy and to be aware of change, because this is the universe telling you that it is your time to step up into your position. And so, like I said, we offer services, okay, spiritual advisory. We offer services to help you to elevate. And so, of course, going into your own personal needs, I will give you what I know, my knowledge, my credentials to help you get there. And of course, you need a little bit more help from an actual psychiatrist, psychologist, and or a counselor or therapist. I can also connect you with some. And so, like I said, that's what it's about here. Okay. And so what I do want to talk about very lightly before we get into the T2spiritmystic.blogspot.com, where you can see some of the services that I offer. And if you're not sure of, if I offer the services that you're needing, of course, you can always email me at 28spirit8mysticated@gmail.com. And I'm always here for you, whether I'm on YouTube or off YouTube. Listen, ow! I'm trying to, I'm trying to clean up a little bit because, bitch, anyway, girl, I still curse, and I'm not changing that. I do want to say that, bitch. I don't give a fuck about who, what, when, why, and how. You don't like my mouth? You don't gotta watch me. I don't care. Okay. Anyway, so I just want, I wanted to clean up a little bit and present, whatever. So, y'all, I want to share something very quickly. As you know, we're going to talk about this person right here. Now, I don't need to get into the accolades of this person and the achievement of this person because you should know who this person is. Okay. But without even knowing her story, the face says a lot. People's face, face reading, it tells a lot. Palmistry and all these other types of readings are more commonly spoken about because they have Anglo-Saxon influences. And of course, the Anglo-Saxons, which, by the way, I'm not cutting in because I'm related to Anglo-Saxons. My grandmother, my mother's mother is an Anglo-Saxon. Let's get into it. And so maybe there's nothing wrong with that. Like I said, I'm educating for educational purposes. I'm going to speak a certain way. Just like when I come for Black folks, say y'all need to wake up and step up, y'all. It's for educational purposes, girl. I love all people, whether you're Black, white, brown, Christian, Jew. It doesn't matter, girl. We're all God's people, girl. One way or another, girl. We're gonna two things for sure. What they say: you paying taxes, or you gonna motherfucking die. And baby, if you don't gotta pay taxes in your country, baby, you gonna die. Okay, and that's what it is. So, girl, we all one and the same, and we all can get it. We all can catch a fade. We all can catch a piece of steel. We all can catch a car running us over. Like I said, we're all one and the same. And so either way, the face tells a lot about people and it tells a story. And even going into like wrinkles and crow's feet and stuff, and even gray hair, a lot of times we're told as a program that, gray hair is a symbol of knowledge and power and also the good stuff. And scientifically proven, it's really not. It's, relates to other things. And even going into, wrinkles and, crow's feet and, the elasticity of your skin, like all this is energetic, all this is cellularly, right? And so what you put into your body, whether it is physically, which is food, spiritually, which is how you identify yourself, emotionally or mentally, that's what you think about yourself, that's how you feel about yourself, or, whether that's your own opinion or how people put onto you. This affects and it shows in your skin. And so, like I said, we can read you based off the eyes, the pupils, we go into the skin, the texture, we go into all that. And so seeing this person, the energy is magnificent. This energy of this individual known as Wendy Williams, is powerful. This is like goddess energy. She, paves the way for a lot of people, a lot of things. And a lot of people don't, I don't want to get into it because it gets me a little emotional thinking about some of the shit, how the way a lot of these people, vloggers, host commentators, how they have disrespected this woman throughout the years as if she has not paved the way and have helped them be where they're at right now, whether you're trans, whether you are a woman, whatever you are, however if you are a person of color, this is one of the persons that helped pave the way for you to be able to do what you're doing without you getting or catching a motherfucking fade. Can we talk about it? And so either way, news was broke on this person throughout the years. We saw a big episode of her. She had a pass out on the stage. Nobody really knows what happened. It was an overheating situation, allegedly. And then it came out later that her husband was cheating on her, with a sideline. Okay. Now, of course, I think she was aware of this. We're going to say allegedly. I think she was aware of this the whole damn time. And it's just, she wasn't afraid. She was afraid of losing everything that she worked for. I think she also caught around this time that people were putting things in her food and beverages. One thing that Wendy always talked about was the killer. I really always felt like she was talking about people within her inner circle, but that's just my opinion. Like I said, I won't get too deep into that. But So y'all, she was diagnosed with something, and we gave a reading on this slightly, and it was told that she had, basically dementia and aphasia, right? There was something that she developed allegedly through alcohol and maybe her previous drug usage, right? You know, once upon a time. And of course, I'm like, I'm not seeing this, right? I'm not seeing this. Okay, I'm not seeing this or feeling this, but this is like her. This is a part of her story for her to exit out, right? Like I felt like this is some type of, timeline, emergence, or something coming together, something playing out differently from what it should have played out. Like, I don't know. I just felt like something was weird with this. And so either way, y'all, we've seen this woman, get better and better and better and better and better. And then allegedly, yesterday or maybe even today, because I barely saw this video 3 hours ago on one of these channels I watched, and they were saying that it has come out that she was re-diagnosed with these medical conditions, y'all, and we're not seeing it. And so I told you guys in the reading that I did for her is that I feel like she was being drugged. I feel like this is all a part of the, P. Diddy, Sean P. Diddy love, Sean Combs love, whatever, girl, whatever the hell that motherfucker's name is. Girl, that, she, you know, kind of brought this stuff to the light. She kind of, brought it to the light. They tried to silence her, of course, because, she's connected with a lot of people. She does her thing, and like I said, we're not going to get into the tea because, of course, there's things that, like I said, we're just going to say allegedly. Like I said, there's things that I can go over that I feel like will turn into a rabbit hole, and we could bring up people that she's connected to allegedly, publicly, privately, and so forth, so forth. And so either way, I was trying to find this, y'all, because I saw this a couple of years ago that she had an interview with someone who was connected to Kim Porter, who was, taken out a couple of years ago. And this person, was threatened by P. Diddy because the story did not say his name, but it was alluding to his lifestyle. And so Wendy had a audio interview with this person, and y'all, I can't find this now. And I know this is not a figment of my motherfucking imagination, y'all. Okay, I know this. It was not. And I even believe that I saw a video maybe like 2 or 3 years ago where somebody was kind of recapping this. And so I do feel like this person right here, Wendy Williams, has a lot of secrets on a lot of industry people. That's why she don't befriend none of them. She said out of her own mouth, I don't befriend celebrities because if I come to my show and I talk about you, I don't want you to think that I'm backstabbing or, I want to be able to properly do my job. And so I think that she have a lot of inside information on a lot of people. And so this was a force, or this is a force to reckon with. Okay. And so they wanted to hush her up. They wanted to quiet her, before all this stuff even came out. And of course, we see why. Allegedly, this man has pleaded not guilty to a lot of things, except for, I think, like trafficking or something. All the other stuff, girl, they were just trying to say it was for fun. But of course, somebody who's deemed incapacitated, like Miss Wendy is, and has all the tea and all the gossip, girl, of course there would be nobody else able to testify against this man. Also, going into a lot of his artists, they're either passed away or they're still on his motherfucking payroll. Can we talk about it? And so that would be a nasty fight for all these people to show up, because they even said they didn't. I mean, people are saying they weren't even subpoenaed. Like, they didn't even subpoenaed some of his girlfriends, right, to court. They were upset. I think Aubrey O'Day, girl, I don't know if she dated him or not, but, she was his artist. And so either way, yeah, I want to say this and I'm going to be done. Okay. At once upon a time, because this is going to all connect. At once upon a time, I used to always have digestive issues, right? I was always nauseous. I developed, ulcers and all this other stuff. And of course, people are like, it's because you're stressing. And I was young, y'all. I think I was like 13 years old when I was diagnosed with stomach ulcers, and I had hypertension and stuff. And y'all, they were like, oh, you're so stressed, blah, 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 whatever. And of course, as I got older, I realized that certain people's system are more sensitive than other people, right? Because some people can even consume raw eggs, raw cookie dough, and not get sick. I'm one of those people that if I consume raw eggs or raw cookie dough, baby, I'm nauseous. I'm fucked up. And so I really do feel like somehow, some way, whether it was intentional or personal, that people were trying to drug me. And of course, I would go to the doctor, and of course, they would say, "Yeah, somehow, some way, this is this, and we have no way of knowing because, of course, they didn't do no test on if the solvents or anything was in my system." But either way, I feel like people were like either not properly washing their hands, and or I was having contamination from food like salmonella and stuff. Y'all, like I said, I was getting fucked up, y'all. And so I told myself, like, I don't trust people cooking for me. I like, unless I'm seeing you cook my food, I don't trust people's cooking. And even going into like restaurants and stuff, like I've had anxiety. This is why I don't eat like fast food. I don't eat Burger King. I don't eat Wendy's. I don't eat none of these places because maybe I don't trust these restaurants. When I do eat, it's always like a restaurant that cooks natively, like Chinese places, no MSG, Indian places, Italian places, Middle Eastern, whatever, places that cook organically, holistically, and like I said, they don't have additives. So, I kind of trust that. But like I said, I don't trust people's cooking. People can, and I'm just throwing this out here, put things in foods and beverages, and a lot of these products and chemicals are tasteless and they're odorless. So I'm going to talk about two things, right? Going into this, y'all, and I have a screenshot of this, okay? Heartbreak or any type of trauma, because we're going to come at this from two angles, right? So, of course, scientifically, of course, if a doctor's lazy or a doctor's paid to state certain things, they could say medically that somebody has dementia and or aphasia, depending on the diagnosis, right? And we know this is book information. This is book knowledge. This is not factual. This is not the truth. This is book related. So, because everybody's case is different. So, based off of other situations, based off of similar situations, they could say that Wendy Williams have dementia and aphasia, right? They could say that. But going into this, y'all, okay, heartbreaks. This woman been through a lot of stuff in her life. This woman witnessed a lot of things, y'all. This woman was somebody who barely got rest, right? They said she was working, right? And then of course dealing with this no good ass, ugly ass fucking husband that she had in Kevin, girl. I mean, girl. Anyway, yeah. Hey, some people say you can't judge what people look like. Like I said, that ain't my type. Okay. But we don't know what this woman went through behind the scenes, but we also know around this time that she was dealing with a sick mother because her mother passed away, within what, 3 or 4 years of her first collapse situation, this divorce situation, right? This was within a 4 year period. And so heartbreak affects, a lot of regions of the brain, right? And of course, it goes into the amygdala. It goes into the hippocampus, the prefrontal cortex, and the brain's reward system known as the VTA, aka nucleus accumbens. Now, of course, you can look up what these things are responsible for, as I have done. A lot of this stuff deals with your thought process. It deals with your memory. It deals with your emotional. It can make you emotionally erratic. It can make you, have up and down emotional swings. It also deals with anxiety. It also deals with addiction. It also deals with changes in sleep patterns, taste buds, and so it deals with a lot of stuff, right? And even like I said, going into memory loss, right? We know dementia deals with memory, right? And so this person going through a heartbreak could present signs of, and even going into doing a CAT scan, these effects can mimic aphasia and dementia. Okay. And so, of course, like I said, I'm just throwing this out here. I'm not saying anything. I'm not getting into this is what she has, whether she has dementia or she has, aphasia or not. I'm just kind of throwing things out there to let you know what, emotional trauma does to you. Mental exhaustion, what lack of sleep, and another reason why I don't stress. Another reason why I will not let people, place, or things stress me the fuck out. Baby, I will end a relationship. I will end a friendship. I will end a business. I will do, like, girl, before I lose my mind to where I can never take care of myself, I will end it all. And people have said that I'm not in touch and I'm, disconnected from people. But I'm telling y'all this right now, like we're seeing it right in front of our eyes, how somebody who is in their 50s, could lose it, right? Could lose it and completely not remember what the Oscars is, not remember who she is, not really recognize people that she loved and care most about, right? And so it's just a lot with a lot. And then even going into this as well, y'all, chemical ingested, right? Ingested chemicals and what it can do to your brain. I have known people that I've dealt with spiritually and physically that were poisoned and they were losing kidney function. They were poisoned and they've had side effects that mimic ADHD and or autism. And of course, like I said, they've ingested solvents or people put like antifreeze in their fluids, in their food, whatever. And of course, it cannot be proven because, of course, once they die, they do tests on it's good shit. But of course, when they had certain tests done, it mimicked, that this is what it possibly is. And of course, through readings, I'm like, this is what it was. And I could see that, the people, the person's doing it. So either way, y'all, like there are there are chemicals that affect your brain. And of course, y'all can look this stuff up. Like I said, I'm just throwing this out here. Going into like brain cells, killing off neurons, leading to cognitive decline, memory issues, and learning difficulties, like lead, mercury, as well as, like I said, solvents, like degreasers, common, household cleaning products, even inhaled could fuck up your brain. I mean, a lot of people didn't even know this, but like lye in the perms and the chemical that you put in your hair actually can eat up your brain cells and eat up your lung tissue. And y'all, it does not reverse. It cannot reverse. So people have grew up, putting chemicals on their hair. And now a lot of them are showing like, how did this person get these issues and they never smoked a day in their life? And now they're putting two and two together. Like this person was still around chemicals like lye, which eats up your cells. And that's what ultimately got them together. Going into disruption of the neurotransmitters. Okay, there are a lot of chemicals out there that interfere with the brain's chemical messengers, which are the neurotransmitters, y'all. And this is according to, neuroscience, right? And of course, even going into, there's a lot of stuff that y'all can look up. But going into this, it causes imbalances and it also can cause various neurological and psychological problems. It also can fuck up your moods, your memory, and learning abilities. And there are some drug abuse, right? Some drugs, antidepressant and or narcotics that could actually flood the brain with dopamines, which can also lead to addictions and reduce pleasure from natural rewards over time. We can also affect the, energies, or we'll say the electric energy of the brain. And of course, even going into like medications, y'all, there's medicines that your doctors prescribe to you and or some of you take illegally. I'm not going to get into like pain pills that actually fucks up your brain as well over time. It fucks up your neurotransmitters. It fucks up the levels and the activities of them, which can also lead to depression, anxiety, and other neurological, psychological issues. Okay. Going into even like oxidative stress, right? There are toxins that create an imbalance of free radicals in the brain, which leads to cell damage. And this increases the risk of neurodegenerative diseases such as Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. So you're out here drinking alcohol, you're out here popping pills, you're out here doing other things, mixing certain chemicals together. It's fucking up your brain in the long term, and it could fuck up your brain in the long term. Okay. Going into, once again, neuron inflammation. Exposure to certain chemicals can trigger chronic inflammation in the brain, impairing brain functioning and communication between nerve cells, which could look like you have dementia, which could look like you're suffering from some type of psychological issues. And I'm telling y'all, the number two things that I've known that could fuck up people's, functioning and memory is, of course, lack of sleep and nutrition, and of course, hydration. So, like I said, somebody who doesn't work or somebody who works a lot, excuse me, and who doesn't get proper resting, who are probably not eating, properly. I mean, she did do her vegan thing, then she got off her vegan thing, et cetera, et cetera. Like, this is going to fuck up and disrupt some type of hormonal, system and in the brain and all this other good shit. So it's like, girl, there's a lot with a lot. And I personally do not feel that this person has dementia and or aphasia. And if they do have it and they're trying to say they have it, I do feel like this could be reversed. There's, like I said, they could put things in foods, they could put things in liquids, water. It's tasteless, it's odorless. And, of course, Miss Thing, not Miss Thing, Auntie Wendy's out of her mind. But I'm like, I'm sure she could, think of some times where, her food or beverages could have been tampered with by family and friends or someone within, close proximity to her. I'm pretty sure she could, sit back and think about it and say, yeah, I remember, somebody poured a glass of wine for me and I stepped out and came back. Then mysteriously I'm drinking and I'm feeling it. And I'm just like, I couldn't think properly. And I thought maybe, I don't have a balance. I'm feeling imbalanced due to the consumption of this alcohol, not knowing that somebody put some shit up in her drink, but I'm sure, like I said, she could, um, you know, she could definitely talk about that and say, yeah, I remember this, right? And so anyway, I just want to talk about that lightly, politely, very lightly, honey. We have to preserve our body. We have to protect our heart. We have to protect our mind. We have to allow people, places, and things that disrupt our natural frequencies and vibrations go. If that means it's, divorcing a man you've been with for 20 years, if that means ending a friendship that you've been with for 10 years, if that means whatever that means to you. Your mental health, your emotional health, your spiritual health are very important. And I do feel like these are things that you take on to you for those of you who are deep into the spiritual stuff. You do take these things onto you to your next level of existence. It's called cellular existence, right? And so it's just a lot to take in, a lot to think about. And like I said, I told you a little bit about my personal tea about why I really don't trust other people's cooking. Like I said, unless I'm there to watch you. But outside of that, baby, you can't cook for me. And that's just that. I'm not getting past that. I don't give a fuck who, what, when, why, and how. I'm not doing it because, baby, God forbid you cook something for me. This is kind of to save us both because God forbid you prepare something for me and just so happened I ate something that day. Who knows? Maybe I ate something that day prior to eating your cooking and I get sick. Baby, I'm going to think you tried to take me out and then I might take your ass out. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. So it's like, yeah, I would rather not. Yeah, unless like I can watch you do it. Oh, you about to make this? Let me watch you do it. Let me see, are you properly preparing things? Are you mixing shit together? Are you washing your hands? Are you, what you doing? What you doing? That's what I want to see. And so anyway, honey, that's pretty much it, y'all. For those of you who signed up for come on, Larry. How you doing, Larry? Yes, good evening, good evening, good evening. Yes, honey, we are great, Larry. Hope you're great as well. Yes, honey. Yes, we're very well. Yes, honey. Yes, Larry. Come on in here. Outside of allergies, honey, I'm good. I do want to say this. Shout out to those of you who took the Daemonium class, the Angelic Atomic class, the Crystal class, and also the personal, or we call the magnetism, the art of seduction or the art of attraction class. Y'all, there's two more T's I'm going to be coming out with. As soon as I push this out, like be done with these classes, because I got my final email back from somebody today. So I'll be getting that out no later than tomorrow. All the classes will be done. There's two more teas that I will be presenting that I'm already, doing, and I'm putting the final touches on that as well. It's going to be a class on sex magic, as well as we're going to be getting into some other tea, right? Sex magic for sure. We're going to push out there. Like I said, we are going to be doing we're going to be offering the magnetism class live. Okay. Or you have the option of getting it recorded. Like I said, we'll talk about that when I'm actually going to be, put it out there. We're actually going to sit down and do it. So y'all, that's pretty much it, y'all. I hope y'all have a great day. I'm about to have my little apple and quinoa salad. There was something else I was going to talk about too, but I'm like, honey, it's not worth it. We already talked about, Umar girl, and girl, people just, girl, I mean, girl, I'm really like, is the world really that brain dead? Is the world, if it's not brain dead, America, are we really that traumatized? Are we really that traumatized that we cannot think for ourselves? That we lack comprehension and critical thinking skills? Like that, I mean, maybe I should offer a class on that because it's just like, we have opportunities to help better ourselves. We all have these opportunities, which whether however way you want to get to it, however you want to go about doing it, we all have these opportunities. And even going into a lot of people that be spiritual, but say they lack something, because I'm like, baby, if you're claiming to be spiritual, but you're lacking finances, you're lacking the ability to manifest what it is that you need to manifest, then maybe you're not really spiritual. And so the idea that these, people are connected to or alleged that they're, whatever, Pan-African, they know the way. I mean, girl, connected to spiritual people. I mean, like, girl, there's just a lot with a lot. Even going from a business perspective, like there's business loans out there. There's people and resources out there that you could, that will do things for free, that will do things as a donation, or that's a tax, however the case you want to go about it. And so it's just the idea that, girl, it's been years, years, and people are still falling for the okey doke. And then you guys are wondering why, you know, uh, you guys are wondering why a lot of stuff. I want to keep this video very positive. I really don't want to jump into some shit because we can't jump into some shit. But then you wonder why they call you bitch. Then you wonder why they treat you the way they treat you. Because they're like, hey, if y'all are not able to think for yourselves, what is his name? Darwin? The Darwin guy, he came up with a whole thought process to dumb people down and shit to, make a certain type of person dumb and illiterate and shit. And I'm like, some people are really living up to it, girl. They come from a generation of illiterate ass people that don't really think for themselves. And there's no shade with that. I'm just speaking the truth. And so, of course, you come across these people who I went to school, I got the knowledge, and now they coming out and they speak a good game. And I'm already questioning when you start repeating yourself anyway. Today is Thursday, August the 14th. Today is Thursday, August the 14th. Today is third. Like, girl, why are you repeating yourself so much? Like, at the end of the day, girl, you're trying to put something in my brain. You're trying to reiterate something so that I lose track of what I'm really thinking. Because, baby, when we look at you, we know the bullshit that you own. When we hear you talk, we know the bullshit that you're talking about. And so it just be the stupidity for me. Or like, girl, how are y'all not able to see? And Black folks are allegedly the most spiritually inclined people out there. Where's the spiritual discernment? Where's the spirituality at? Where's the spiritual ability at? How are they still able to fool you? How are the Black man able to fool you? How's the Black woman able to fool you? How the white? I mean, how are they all able to still fool you if you are the most spiritually inclined, the most spiritually intelligent individuals? And I'm not disputing that. I'm not saying that you're not. I'm just asking some questions. We're just talking. I want to know what is really going on. How in the fuck are you not going to look at this motherfucker that look like he don't wash his ass? He look like he barely brushed his motherfucking teeth. Going to sit up here and talk about how he gonna help everybody else's kids. And the question is he helping his? And that'd be the question I'll be asking when I really be seeing those people. If you're a single man or woman and you out there trying to help everybody else's children, I'm like, hey, I see it. When you are a man or woman and you have children, I'm gonna ask about your kids first. I'm gonna say, baby, before you get help out these kids, and of course, it just gives me predator vibes. It just gives me predatorial vibes as well, because allegedly this individual was offering classes. They said they're trying to help all people, Black women and Black men. But allegedly, they've only went after women, single women with sons. And I'm like, ooh, that's kind of creepy, girl. Ooh, that's kind of predatorial too, honey. But it's like, are you helping your own kids? Like, I've seen a lot of these Black conscious, pro-African people come forward. And when I hear that, I'm just like, bullshit. They come forward. They got everybody. They got all these answers for the whole world. And black people need to start drinking more gold and drinking more silver and more palladium. And I'm just like, wait, what the fuck? And then you find out that they got all these children that they're not taking care of. And I'm just like, there's nothing attractive about a deadbeat dad. There's nothing spiritually enlightening. There's nothing spiritually of knowing. There's nothing you could possibly teach me if you don't take care of your own fucking kids or let alone yourself. At that point, girl, and that's what I be thinking too. We out here trying to protest these Karens and shit. Marios and Marias, aka MAGAs, Republicans. That's what I call them. The Republican people that are like really Republican. They don't care for blacks, pro-whites. They don't care about poor whites. They don't give a fuck about nobody but themselves. You got to be rich, white, and educated, girl. If you're not rich, white, and educated, girl, they don't give a fuck about you. Those are Marios and Marias. And I'm just like, so y'all want to protest these people for speaking their mind and shit, but at least you see them coming. Like, I like seeing people come. You know what I mean? I like to see you coming. I want to see the wolf. I want to see your sharp ass teeth and your drooling as you're coming towards my way. I don't want to see you put on lipstick and try to hide your little sharp ass teeth, maybe with sheep's clothing on, and say, I'm here to help you, babe. You got to look at me. And I keep telling y'all, and I'm going to stand on this. There is somebody back there in the back. There's a group of people, in particularly, I see an older Caucasian man, and I see an older Caucasian. Well, she looked like she could be something else. She's like racially ambiguous. I don't know. This is a darker Russian. If this is like a Slovakian, with this is like a white appearing woman, but like with strong features and dark hair. But a lot of these so-called conscious people, they get their teachings from these people. A lot of them, and you could trace back what I'm telling y'all. These people will come out, alleged people have access to, and they've done things amongst the, so-called white folks during time where white folks will let black folks do certain things, and they were able to sit at these tables with these white folks and come to their house and eat with them and shit. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, outside of you being a sellout, how is that possible? Outside of you being a sellout, how is that possible? Outside of you being a sellout, how is that possible? Hello? And so, like I said, you just have to start questioning a lot of stuff, y'all. And like I said, that's why I'm so open about my tea. You want to know about what I do and how I do. I'm always down to talk about it with receipts. We want to talk about, if I'm going to come here and talk about, y'all, you need to get your health together. I'm going to show you how I get and keep my health together. I can't be out here talking about we're offering healing shit and I'm still taking medication. I'm taking medication, period. What reality or what realm is that? I can't be out here and say I'm concerned about the well-being of you guys and you're outside of my home, but my house is falling apart. The people within my home structure, my wife, my husband, my daughters, my sons are not doing good. But yet I'm here to help you do good or show you how to be better. Make it make sense. And like I said, you guys don't hold these people accountable. You guys don't hold these people to the fire. You don't question and you don't say, hey, if you don't get your shit together, fuck you. But you know why you don't say that? Because you really don't give a fuck about yourself and they know that. They play on the emotions that you don't care about yourself because you don't know yourself. You don't love yourself and they play on that emotion. All they say is, well, we need somebody that's going to look like a big mama because a lot of these people like their big mama. A lot of people need a big mama. So come out and play big mama. That's how you're going to get your following. And some people do it. Come out and play like you this angry black woman that found her way out and blah, blah, blah. You're going to get followers. And then some people come out and do it. And a lot of people, girl, and of course, I'm just saying, and a lot of these men be gay and they out here acting like they heterosexual men. That's why they got all these baby mamas. They not with none of their baby mamas. But yet they doing trips with their homeboys and shit every time we turn around. Can we talk about it? Some of these women be lesbians. And like I said, shout out to my LGBT community out there, honey. Hello. We're not hating at all. We just pointed out what it is. Some of these black conscious women and Black conscious men are homosexuals, period. And so they're posing as they are heterosexual people here to help the heterosexual community, but there's some brokenness up in there. Because, baby, you only dig down and got the poo nanny girl to have a storyline. It's not fucked up about people will sell out just to have a storyline. You pretended to be straight. You had a lavender situation just because you said one day this is going to be profitable. You didn't want to make your brothers mad. And maybe, that's part of the DO life story. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe there's a DO book out there, how to be a DO man, a DO woman. I don't know. But like I said, that's what they be doing. They're out here talking about the open gays. They talk about the open lesbians. They talk about the open homosexual men, but privately, girl, they be getting dick down. They be dicking down. They love playing with the booty and shit. They like, rubbing and twapping and lopping and lopping. They love doing that. But they're upset about the people who live in their truth and be open and honest about it. They'd be upset about that. But behind the scenes, they're like, I'm going to play this role to get a check. And like I said, baby, you can find what you need and what you need and how you need it with what you're attracting. Girl, there's no way that over the past 10 years, you've had 25 women. Yes, there's different ways, different, this and that, but allegedly y'all can manifest. Why haven't y'all manifest a woman worthy of that ring if you're not gay? Hello? Why have you not manifested the man worthy of that ring or worthy of locking down that poo nanny if you are really into penis? Why are you single and bitter at 50? Can we talk about it? Why are you unhappy, but you're so spiritually inclined? You're so tapped in. You know everything about everything, but you don't know about your own shit. Make it make sense. And then, I get the offers, but I don't be wanting it. But don't you got the juice? Don't you got the magic? Don't you be out here working rituals and altars and shit? And then you be having some girl, like I said, they just be so confused, girl, acting like they not into other women and just, I used to be. No, you still there, babe. And it's on you heavy. You fight with yourself because you really want to be with a woman, but you don't know what that's going to look like monetarily. So every time you turn around, they're talking about the gay community and shit, girl. And it's like, girl, you really want to be gay. You really want to pop, lock, and drop it. You really want to, girl, we see it. We see it. And then you have even one of them too, without cutting in, I'm going to be done, acting like she married a ghost. She married a ghost. A man passed on through a horrendous crime. And allegedly, she started keeping the spirit of this man. And now she married to this man. And it's like, but it doesn't make sense. That spirit can't dick you down, babe. And we all know we need to be worked. Work the middle. Girl, hello. Excuse me. Hello. That's the youth right there. That's the vitality right there. Can we talk about it? That's how you stay young and proper, girl. Hello? Can we talk about it? Hello? And so it's like, so you gonna act like you married a spirit because ain't no man wanting to be over there. Okay, sis, we got it. And like I said, you got some of them act like they proud to be single mamas and stuff. And I'm proud to be single. And I was married before. I never want to go down that path again. It's just like, girl, stop it. You are the common denominator, ma'am. Girl, you are the common denominator, boo-boo. Sorry, babe. If your life is all that miserable, girl, ask yourself why. So anyway, I'm just giving y'all some food for thought, y'all. I'm keeping it pushing, y'all. Let me head on out and do my little thing, girl. I hope y'all have a great day. Listen, I'm about to enjoy my apple and quinoa salad. I'm about to check my emails as well. I got about 3 or 4 emails from y'all. I was like, let me check that before I get into my tea. And like I said, we will be wrapping up. Y'all, shout out to the Demonium and the Angelic Atonement. Y'all, we waiting on the Angelic Atonement ritual, right? Hello, that's how we is, girl. We finished the class. We're waiting on the bonus, which is the ritual. Can we talk about it? And then the Demonium, honey, the recorded. The live people, you already got your tea. The recording, honey, y'all ready to get into the final parts of the Demonium class, and then we're going to get into the ritual. And of course, like I said, we're going to talk about it in that motherfucking video as well, y'all, because the cat, if you got it, you got it. If you didn't get it, you didn't get it. We're not going to say what hello, I caught myself. But anyway, y'all, that's it for now. You are love and light to spiritmystic.blogspot.com to 8spirit8mystic8 at gmail.com. And y'all will be back again
very, very soon. I told y'all, listen, there's two things I need to do. Y'all, listen, listen, I'm glad y'all have been asking me about it, y'all, because I'm like, listen, I'm trying to, I'm trying to get it right. I'm trying to, yeah, those, hello. I'm here of service, girl. I'm what they say. I'm a public servant. I'm here to help the people. I'm here to help my people elevate. I'm here to help my people stand in their power. Girl, we don't do codependency. We don't do weakness. We don't do scary. Okay, I'm here to teach you how to be yourself, be strong in your truth, and walk with your head up, not your head down. Don't ever be ashamed of who you are and how you get it, baby. If that's what you do it well. Anyway, y'all, bye for now. Love and light, love and truth.